Welcome to the Local Marketing Source Weekly Update, brought to you by localmarketingsource.com.
This week's Local Marketing Update is brought to you by Scott Gallagher. Scott is the co-founder of Local Marketing Source and has become the recognized expert in providing online marketing services to local businesses. Follow Scott on Twitter @ScottGallagher5 and on Facebook.com/ScottPGallagher.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Scott Gallagher here with Local Marketing Source, bringing you our weekly local marketing industry update. Now, next week's LMS member call is going to be Wednesday, October 13th at 4 p.m. Eastern. No, that's 4 p.m. Central or 5 p.m. Eastern. I want to thank all active LMS members for being on the call today. We're going to answer any questions that you may have at the end of the update. And this week we've got we got three different things to touch on. And, first we're going to talk a little bit more about some Google testing and testing and testing. Google likes to test and test and test and test. Next, we're going to take a look at a summary of what's going on with some more tests with the local pack as well. So we're going to be looking at some Google testing for advanced verification process for certain industries and some tests in the local pack. And finally, a little bit of a piece that we're going to talk about in regards to businesses that are playing possum and what that means, and we'll get that out there. All right, now, as I'm looking over all my notes here, I've got a new version of Microsoft Word. I've just reinstalled everything. MacBook. Sick over the weekend. Never had to do this. Never really heard of anybody having to do it, but I did have to reinstall everything. Right from the OS, but a heck of a lot easier than Windows, I'll tell you what. Done that hundreds of times. Probably literally hundreds. All right, so Google is testing advanced verification process, and what they're doing is they're testing it in certain geographies in the United States and testing it within certain industries. And so the two industries that we've found are industries that there's a lot of, we'll say, corruption, and that's locksmiths and plumbers. And so Google announced today that they've got a plan to increase the verification scrutiny of plumbers and locksmiths. The beta is taking place in San Diego, and all verified plumbers and locksmiths are going to be emailed a request. And in this request, there's going to be the new advanced verification process. It's not something that I've seen, but these businesses are then going to be verified and approved or denied within 2 weeks. Now, Google is apparently focusing on the types of businesses that are often affected by the local business fraud, and they're making it easier for verified and legitimate businesses and plumbers to be discovered online. So I'm not in that industry. I don't have any plumbing or locksmith clients, but I definitely know that the locksmith industry was beat up a heck of a lot, and that there's a lot of unscrupulous businesses that position themselves in different ways as plumbers and whatnot. So I think that this is a good move. I think it's going to be a test for both geography, the industry, and it may roll out to other industries as well, like attorneys. We're probably going to see it roll out to industries that have high cost per click for AdWords. Where did my go to webinar go? Oh, it doesn't hide the same way. Interesting. I also upgraded my OS. I got the new OS right now, and it's running. You got Siri on the Mac now, which is a lot of fun. Now I just got to update my iPhone to the new OS too. I don't know if I should, but all right. So now there's also some tests going on in the local pack. And there's lots of reports of new and different pack layouts coming out in the last few weeks. Let me pull my notes up here because I want to get into this. This is relatively important because the next discussion I'm talking about is an algorithmic update called Possum. And so a lot of these new tests that are going on, I've been seeing it, and I finally now have an industry that's talking about it. I think I talked about it 2 weeks ago. I was like, we're going to start seeing some of this, and is anybody else seeing some changes and whatnot? But there are distance filters absolutely being included. This was spotted by Sergey Alikov, and it was spotted on Twitter. There's blue links in the pack as well that we're starting to see different tests of, different types of blue link tests, and showing different reporting of when in Google Organic, when there are, what do we call those? Oh my God, I'm having a brain fart right here. It's not embedded links, but it's the additional links that you're going to see on an organic page. And we're now seeing some of those in local. Google is testing putting, different hotel booking ads at the top instead of the right side, and moving the booking right up at the top, right into their interface. So they're getting more involved in trying to push more of that. Just looking over my notes. All right, so I'm going to move on now to the discussion of possum. And this is a new algorithm update that has recently been rolled out, and Google has confirmed its rollout in the last over the last 2 weeks, and it being called Possum. Now, with the Possum algorithm change, Google is really continuing down a path that has been traveling for quite some time, and that's the merging of the local and the organic ranking signals. Understand that. Now, Google is now applying different filters to reward certain businesses that are not only physically closest to searchers, but that are also optimized in their location data and content for search far better than anyone else. So to understand the impact of Possum crawling into our lives, let's look at a few different things. Think of like before Possum, that Scott, he's searching for a hospital, and Hospital A gets pushed out because they've got hundreds of different doctors that are involved with that hospital, and therefore they've got their content is got a lot more authority, their domain's got a lot more authority and whatnot. And after the Possum rollout, instead of seeing a single hospital dominating search results, Google is allocating more real estate to other hospitals in the nearby area based on their location and ranking signals. Location is becoming more and more important. This is becoming very difficult for my business. Every month I'm sitting down with clients and having to pull out the phones and show them the results in real time on their computers and on their phones, and start to travel around in a geographical area. I've got a client that is on the outskirts. Okay, take Chicagoland, and there's 8 million people in Chicagoland, and there's probably 200 different communities within Chicagoland. The community I live in Crystal Lake, is 40,000. But then right beside it, there's Cary, Fox River Grove, Algonquin, Dundee, West Dundee, Carpentersville. Those are all the, and McHenry and Woodstock. So those are all the towns that are actually circled around mine. Think of it like a beehive. You've got all these other towns, and they're also all approximately anywhere from 10,000 to 80,000 people. And so if I'm doing a search for chiropractor in Algonquin, but I happen to be on the southwest side of Algonquin and a lot closer to Huntley, I'm not coming up for Huntley searches, and I'm not coming up for Algonquin searches when I'm utilizing the straight desktop, unless I'm putting in near a specific address or a specific zip code. And that's becoming a problem. But what's interesting is you drive there, or you drive within 2 or 3 miles, and our clients, they're getting top rankings. And even in the surrounding towns that are, that they're physically closer to, sometimes they're closer to another town than they are to the downtown core of their area. The centroid is what we call it. And so Possum is addressing a lot of this. And that's why ranking reports, we're having a big problem with right now, because the ranking reports are inevitably showing the centroid of that town or the centroid of that zip code. And that's not how the algorithm works. And we can't replicate it unless we physically are in a physical location. So I'm not sure what the solution is going to be for companies like Bright Local and Ranking Reports, but they're in a tough spot. And don't put a lot of merit to your ranking reports for your clients. Make sure you do a lot of testing, manual testing for this, because of Possum. Now, yeah, I think that's about it that I wanted to add about Possum. You want to go and check all your rankings to see if they have been affected by Possum. You might be seeing better results. You might see drop in rankings. We're seeing a lot of clients that are dropping in rankings in our ranking reports, and that's frustrating. But then when we go and do the manual searches and physically get out there, we've got the results. So we're at a disconnect right now, that there's been changes at Google, but our industry has not caught up. There's not a lot of answers in terms of how all this is going to be pushed out. That's it. We're a little short today on time, but that's okay. Sometimes we go a long time, sometimes we go a short time. So I'm going to go ahead and take a 30-second break and come back and answer any questions that you guys might have. All right. I'm going to open the floor, guys, to see if you got any questions. You can just type it into the question box, or put your hand up and go to webinar software. I will unmute you and we can have a little chit chat. We don't have any questions in yet, so I will wait for a tad. All right, no, we don't seem to have any questions, guys. Well, thanks for attending the live call today. It's not officially announced, and I'm not going to announce it until we finalize with the Apple Store, but the product is now available in Google Play Store. So you can go ahead and download the latest version of my app. It just got approved yesterday, or got it up yesterday, and it was approved this morning. So go do a search in the Google Play Store for local sales prospector. All right, thanks guys. All right, bye for now.
Well, thanks for watching the Local Marketing Industry Update. We've got these things coming out every single week, so if you liked with what you heard, just click the button right above me right here to subscribe to our channel. If you'd like to get a little bit more, right over here, go check out localmarketingsource.com. We've got free reports that you can grab. You can even register for a free marketing course to get in and see the portal. Or just go ahead and follow us on some of the social channels. We'll be around. Until next time.